Chapter 17. Procuring Synthesis Materials. Lin Yuan's gaze fell upon the system panel. Synthesis attempts, 130. Unbeknownst to him, his synthesis attempts had accumulated to 130 times. He could now attempt synthesis without reservation. Instead of rushing to use the fruit tree seed for experimentation, he decided to try with other seeds first. Synthesis window: seeds of gathering spirit grass plus seeds of gathering spirit grass equals. He took out a vitalized agglomerate spirit grass seed and a lifeless agglomerate spirit grass seed, placing them into the synthesis window. Ding. Proceed with synthesis. Yes. Ding. Synthesis successful. Remaining synthesis attempts, 129. Appraisal technique. Item: essence gathering grass seed. Type: plant. Grade: mid-grade yellow tier spirit plant seed. Effect: can grow essence gathering grass. Status: weak vitality, requires consumption of spiritual liquid for cultivation. Weak vitality, not outright death. Indeed. Synthesis can succeed. Lin Yuan was shaken by this realization. With this, he could fully utilize the tiger blood essence fruit tree seed. This is a type of spirit plant that refines the physique and enhances body training cultivation. In truth, cultivators do not reject body refinement because refining Qi essence, transforming Qi, and cultivating spirit all rely on a robust body as the foundation. Once body refinement is achieved, it actually accelerates the cultivation of Qi. Most people don't plan on body refinement, mainly because it requires too many resources. This phenomenon is similar to the saying poor in literary talent, rich in martial arts. Cultivating Qi doesn't require resources, and can absorb the spiritual energy from the earth to improve cultivation. On the other hand, body refinement requires a large number of medicinal and spiritual materials, which ordinary cultivators simply cannot afford. Tiger blood essence fruit tree is an extremely high-grade spiritual material for body refining. The growth cycle of the tiger blood essence fruit tree is too long, and the mature fruits are also scarce. If I use a tea tree seed and fuse it with the tiger blood essence fruit tree, can I transfer the essence's effects to the tea tree? Lin Yuan's eyes lit up. There are many advantages to tea trees. Firstly, they can be consumed for a long time. Secondly, the growth cycle is not too long. Thirdly, they can be harvested at any time. Fourthly, the synthetic effect is excellent, and fifthly, the medicinal effect is mild. The last point is the most important because if the same item is synthesized, the higher the quality, the greater the quantity required. The yield of the tea tree is at least much higher than that of the fruit, which is conducive to synthesis. Lin Yuan also thought of the goal of tea tree seeds, which is the clear spirit tea tree seed. He was eager to buy tea tree seeds to try, but he suppressed this impulse. He planned to break through the 7th level of Qi cultivation first, as cultivation was the most important thing, and he could not sacrifice the essentials. Lin Yuan continued to use appraisal techniques to explore other areas, but in the end, he did not find any monitoring for machines or items. Only then did he feel relieved to activate the Guardian formation and sit down to cultivate. In a matter of seconds, he entered a state of cultivation. With a wave of his hand, to low-grade spirit stones were synthesized into intermediate grade ones, and then he accelerated his cultivation. The profound martial arts techniques endowed Lin Yuan with unparalleled control over his spiritual power. With each rotation of the spiritual power within him, it became stronger and more resilient, albeit with subtle but steadfast changes. At this moment, he was stuck at the 6th layer of Qi cultivation. However, with today's practice, he suddenly felt the bottleneck loosen. Once twice. After a full 10 repetitions, Lin Yuan's dantian successfully expanded. The spiritual power within him finally underwent a transformation, and he finally stepped into the 7th layer of qi cultivation, entering the late stage of qi cultivation. The changes in the late stage of qi cultivation were tremendous. The maximum limit of spiritual power at the 7th layer of qi cultivation increased to 300 points, 600 points at the 8th layer, and 900 points at the 9th layer. It was a far cry from the early stage of qi cultivation. The number of magical instruments he could control also increased, and most importantly, he could now control them remotely. This was the greatest characteristic of the late stage of qi cultivation, remote control of magicka. Instruments for attack, defense, and even flight. If he could obtain a flying magical instrument now, he could fly. Therefore, the difference between the late stage and the mid-stage of qi cultivation was indeed immense. Lin Yuan's sense of security was greatly enhanced. He tentatively infused his spiritual power into his bright jade sword. Then, with a movement of his spiritual consciousness, the bright jade sword in his hand began to float slowly. After a while, he was able to control the bright jade sword to move up, down, left, and right. His current spiritual consciousness was only 220 points, and the control distance was only 22 meters. But it was still sufficient. Remote control of magical instruments had its advantages, but of course, it also had its disadvantages, such as being unable to fight when the infused spiritual power was depleted, or being susceptible to interception. So generally, it was better to buy specialized remote control magical instruments. Those types of instruments had a large storage of spiritual power, fast flying speed, and even greater power. It looks like I need to do some shopping. After playing around for a while, Lin Yuan put away the bright jade sword, tied it up, and then went out to the trading area. It was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the heat had subsided. Many outer disciples were already setting up stalls in the trading area. Lin Yuan wandered around. He approached a stall selling spirit grass seeds and asked, "Senior brother, do you have seeds for clear spirit tea?" The stallholder looked at him with surprise and asked,
"You want seeds for clear spirit tea? Do you have a spirit field for cultivation?"
Lin Yuan smiled faintly and replied, "Senior brother, does that matter?" The stallholder chuckled and explained,
"Don't be offended, junior brother. You may not know that even if clear spirit tea is planted in a spirit field, it usually takes 3 to 5 years to grow. Ordinary spirit grass disciples don't have the qualifications to plant clear spirit tea in their own spirit fields. I am Afri. Do you waste your effort if you buy it?"
Lin Yuan understood that the cultivation of Qigling tea seemed too time-consuming, and it was only a low-grade yellow-level spiritual tea. It would be a waste for those who wanted to cultivate it, but didn't have spiritual fields, and for those who had spiritual fields, planting tea would be too extravagant. The low-grade yellow-level Qigling tea, to be honest, had a very weak effect on enhancing enlightenment, making it quite mediocre. "Do you have seeds for Qigling tea here?" Lin Yuan asked again.
"Yes. 1 seed for 50 spiritual stones. Do you want it?"
The vendor brother at the stall stopped explaining. Whether to buy it or not was up to Lin Yuan. "So expensive?" Lin Yuan frowned. The price surprised him, but it was still within his budget.
"It's not expensive, junior brother. Many of my spiritual seeds need to be purchased from within the sect, and it costs quite a bit. You know, the tea leaves of Qigling tea require contribution points to exchange."
The vendor brother complained. "I'll take 40 seeds. Can you give me a discount?" Lin Yuan asked. The vendor brother was stunned for a moment, then he smiled bitterly.
"If you buy 8 or 9 seeds, I might actually give you a discount. But if you buy 40 seeds at once, you'll have to spend more effort to get the goods. so I really can't reduce the price.
Lin Yuan wasn't accustomed to bargaining. He glanced casually at the stall, then suddenly noticed a certain seed. Identification technique. Item: entwining vine seed. Type: plant. Grade: low grade Huang tier. Effect: rapidly grows a long vine to entwine the target. This is a type of vine spiritual herb that can be quickly stimulated with spiritual power to grow, suitable for combat, and is one of the BES T-spell materials for wood attribute spell techniques such as vine arts. So Lin Yuan said, "How about you give me a packet of entwining vine seeds?"
Sure, let's consider it a friendly gesture. This packet of entwining vine seeds is for you,
said the stall senior with a pained expression.
Do you have clear spirit tea in stock?
Lin Yuan took out some spirit stones.
Just wait a moment.
The stall senior took out a token and whispered a few words. After a few minutes, a female cultivator walked over and handed over a jade box. The stall senior passed it to Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan opened it and indeed found clear spirit tea seeds inside. Without hesitation, he took out the spirit stones and completed the transaction. Having boobed the clear spirit tea seeds, his next plan was to purchase a few artifacts. Lin Yuan took another stroll and stopped at a familiar stall.
Oh, Lin Junior brother.
Nan Menhua greeted.
Zhou Junior sister, long time no see. The last time, the mirage formation you sold me was a big help.
Lin Yuan responded with a smile. There were several low-grade, Huang-tier artifacts on the stall.
Yeah. Are you looking to buy some artifacts?
Nang Menhua asked.
I want to customize some weapons,
Lin Yuan said. Nang Menhua hesitated.
I'm sorry, my skills are limited. I can only craft lower-grade yellow-tier weapons.
That's fine.
Lin Yuan chuckled.
I am wondering, though, how expensive would customization be?
It depends on the materials needed and the difficulty of crafting. It could be as low as 200 or 300 spirit stones, or even over 1,000 if it's complex.
Nang Menhua couldn't provide a specific price.
I need 8 lower-grade weapons, 4 for offense and 4 for defense. The offensive ones should look like the Mingyu sword I have here, and the defensive ones should resemble the aquamarine robe I am wearing.
Lin Yuan pointed to the 2 weapons he had on him. Nan Menhua nodded.
4 Mingyu swords, preferably all earth attribute. One should primarily enhance power, another should significantly reduce spiritual energy consumption, the third should have a speed boost, and the last one should be capable of swiftly breaking through defenses and shields. Each sword should have distinct characteristics. For example, the power-enhancing one doesn't need to worry about consumption or speed as long as its power is sufficient. Do you understand?
Lin Yuan explained. Nang Menhua was puzzled.
Isn't that a bit risky? Each sword has very obvious drawbacks, and can only be used in specific situations.
It's fine. Just follow my requirements for customization. That's the point of customization, right? Can you craft them according to my specifications?
Lin Yuan asked. Nang Menhua nodded.
I can do that.
Alright, for the defensive weapons, it's similar. Also earth attribute. One should automatically activate for defense, another should focus on defense, one should reduce spiritual energy consumption and increase duration, and the last one should have a rebound attack effect.
Lin Yuan continued, outlining the requirements for the other 4 defensive weapons. Nang Menhua, unsure of Lin Yuan's intentions, noted down his requests accordingly. Lin Yuan's mind, on the other hand, added another layer of thought. Would purchasing weapons like this, and then revealing the synthesized weapons later, attract unwanted attention? The first time was fine, but afterwards, buying them individually might be better to avoid drawing attention. The safest approach would be to become a weaponsmith himself, But unfortunately, like alchemy, there was no one to guide him, and self-learning was too difficult.
Senior brother, I've estimated the price of these artifacts, and it's about 2,800 spirit stones.
Nang Menhua calculated the price of the artifacts and quoted directly. This price is indeed quite reasonable. A medium-grade artifact would cost 3,000 to 4,000 each, but 8 low-grade artifacts total only 2,800 spirit stones.
Joe Jr. sister, it truly kind. Here is the deposit.
Lin Yuan took out 1,400 spirit stones, as it's customary for the deposit for artifact customization to be 50%.
In that case, senior brother will have to wait a bit longer, as refining artifacts isn't that quick.
Nang Menhua said apologetically.
No problem, I'll also buy some talismans while I am at it.
After completing his purchases, Lin Yuan returned to his residence in the Jade Garden. He would be staying here from now on. The house of the outer disciple was neither safe nor secure. In the cultivation room, Lin Yuan had a bag of entwining vine seeds, a bag of clear spirit tea seeds, and a tiger blood essence fruit tree seed in front of him.